And for more on the proposed passenger Bill of Rights, let's bring in Gabor Lukacs. He is the founder and coordinator of the volunteer advocacy group Air Passenger Rights. He comes to us from Halifax today. So Gabor, first of all, thank you for joining us. What are your thoughts, first of all, on Marc Garneau's announcement on this bill as you heard it?
Good morning. This is a slap on the face of Canadian passengers. Minister Garneau is pulling the wool through the public's eyes. He's trying to convince the public that somehow taking away the rights that passengers already have is going to be good for the public. In reality, what we see here is industry-friendly regulations that allow airlines to keep passengers twice as long on the tarmac as before, doubling the time from 90 minutes to 3 hours, and which takes away the passengers the right to get compensation if a flight is delayed or canceled for the airline's own maintenance problems. With respect to other issues, baggage and seating of children, this regulation simply stays the status quo. There is nothing new.
Right, and so Marc Garneau was saying that people will have 120 days to report if they feel that their rights have been infringed by an airline, and then the airline has 30 days to respond. He also said that he feels confident that airlines will respond much earlier than that, with a much shorter time period elapsed there. So do you think that he's right? Is there going to be that immediacy on the part of airlines?
This is a bill that actually claws back on the rights of passengers, so I'm sure the airlines are very happy with it. In terms of airline response, airlines already respond. When you send them a complaint, they tell you they will not pay you. It doesn't mean that they're actually going to pay you. What you need to understand is that those regulations create a system where passengers have less rights than they had before. So if the passenger will write to the airline will tell you, based on this section of the law or the regulations, we don't pay you anything. Is that really progress?
Okay, we do have to ask you about the fact that there are different rules for the two different tiers of carriers, large versus small. So what do you make of the differences there?
This is another attack on the rights of Canadian passengers, telling people that because you bought a ticket on a cheaper airline, you are going to get less compensation. It is unprecedented. I am not aware of any other place in the world that would actually have such a two-tier system. And it is troubling because any airline can claim from tomorrow they are an ultra-low-cost carrier. That's just a tag. The question is, what is the actual business model, and who is going to decide who is a low-cost carrier or not? Is WestJet going to be an ultra-low-cost carrier for that purpose? Is Swoop going to be that? Any such provision creates confusion and lack of uniformity and eventually harms Canadians.
So in your view, what regulations should be in place?
The regulations that the European Union has adopted are the golden standard. In Europe, if your flight is delayed or cancelled for the airline's maintenance problems, you get compensation. And the compensation goes up to 900 Canadian dollars or equivalent for those kind of so-called safety-related delays that the airline can claim anytime without any ability of the passenger to verify what was the actual cause for the delay or the cancellation.
And do you feel that there was enough consultation then?
I don't think that there was a real consultation here. Evidence that we have is that already last year in 2017, the Canadian Transportation Agency spoke behind the back of travelers to airlines, to the IATA, the International Air Transport Association. And this consultation that took place recently in the summer were more like a sham, smoke and mirror, dog and pony show to just pretend that they're really consulting Canadians. Actually, in our case, we were told that we can submit only a 25-page brief, while Air Canada submitted more than 100 pages.
Well, Canadians do have 60 days to respond to what they've heard today, to this passenger Bill of Rights, and share their thoughts. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us today, Gabor Lukacs, the founder and coordinator of Air Passenger Rights. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.